Wake up, gamers, because you're in the Big Think Dimension, the first gaming podcast to self-isolate and sound good. Featuring KZ Excellent.
Hey, you want some bumper hootin'?
Dan and Bob Video Game.
You see that mountain? You can self-isolate on that mountain, Bob.
Oh, thank God.
And Mr. Feel.
I don't forgive. Only God does.
Here on GigaBoots.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Big Think Dimension. It's me. It's not often that I open it up by talking, so I'm scared. Dan, talk. Make sure no one gets confused.
Yeah, I was like, hopefully Feel's there to make sure no one gets confused this time.
Bob will talk next, so don't get confused.
You guys fucking suck. Now the listener's gonna be like, oh, I'm confused. Now I'm immune to being knocked back and none of your work.
Oh no!
I won't like or subscribe. Oh man, I fucking forgot about the limited run games conference. Oh god, why did I have to remember? Bob, talk about what you've been playing.
Sure. I actually didn't play that much this week, but I tried Mortal Shell.
Oh.
The new Souls game made by some indie dev who really likes Souls games.
Bob, what are the Mortal Shells?
Yeah, I was about to say, Bob, tell me about the shells. Well, the shells are basically they're a replacement for armor sets as well as like move sets. It's weird. It's not attacks, but they do have different things. Like I got 2 mortal shells in this game. One was the Night Man and the other was like a thief guy. The thief guy, when he dodges, he turns into a cloud of smoke, and he also has more stamina than the knight. This game might be made by a crazy person. It's like they took the Dark Souls combat and made everything slower, less responsive.
Ooh.
Ooh. I don't think iframes exist at all.
Ow! Oh, that makes sense because the game shouldn't have any iframes. Has been an insane Dark Souls fan thing since 1.
Yeah, it really feels like it's made by some of those really crazy Dark Souls fans. They're like, every bit of this is developer intent. I'm going to make it even worse. Now, to be fair, like I was gonna come at it like, you know, I don't want to immediately just say that they're insane, but I was there. I watched that thing where they made it like a joke that he put an LCD screen on his fridge that just had Dark Souls armor sets on them. Yeah, and that was real. Yeah, no, that's real. Clearly, something's up with these guys. Yeah. So, how'd you do? I think I think it's even crazier that, like I said, one of the mortal shells turns into mist when he dodges. You can still be hit during that.
Has no high frame.
Wait, you can be hit out of being missed.
Yeah, you still take full damage. You still get knocked back. It's like
that just goes against every cool thing featuring vampires I've ever seen.
That sucks.
What's the point of it then?
It looks different. I want some function, especially when it's you turn to mist. It also, instead of having a shield, like this feels like the main difference. There's no shield. You have the ability to turn to stone. You can do this during any move.
Okay. Wow, we do that every week.
Right? I'll do it at some point tonight. But it'll block one attack, and then it has like a pretty sizable cooldown. So you really can't like sword and board sort of just block stuff in this game. You can only do like one block before you have to go fight.
That's another crazy Dark Souls fan thing where it's like, no, they put in shields, but you're not supposed to use them. That's not true strength.
Oh, wow. Yeah, this is really a compilation of all the crazy Dark Souls takes you've heard. It actually seems to like gut out some of the RPG elements. Like each of these shells has a predetermined stats to them, but I don't think there's a way to actually level up. Like I can increase, or I can like get new skills for these shells. They're like, oh, well, this shell will now be able to restore his turning to stone ability faster, or something like that. Or, okay, this one, when you do a counterattack, you heal. No, you always heal when you counterattack. So when you do the counterattack with that one, he will produce a cloud of poison. Oh. I was like, that's kind of neat. There's lots of weird things. The second area, because I didn't get too far into this. I did like the first area, and then the second area kind of stopped me and then froze up and crashed, so I haven't had time to go back to it since then.
This is how bad it was. I walked into Bob's house. I took one step in, the game crashed. I was like, what the fuck?
Dan cursed it. That is so funny
because there was like previews came out for this game, and I was listening to the first couple of minutes of the Easy Allies one, and they're like, for Huber, it just the second area wouldn't load at all. Anytime they even tried to approach it, it hard crashed.
Oh, I guess I lucked out then.
Yeah, so it's just...
The second area is like a nightmare. Like the first area is just like Nordic field fighting dudes, the little river, some grassy fields. Second area, cave where everything poisons you. And that's the second area. This area is worse. This area is worse than Blighttown. It's just immediately like, whoa. Yeah, every enemy can the main enemy in here are these things that look like vampires from Blade 2. They're kind of like skinless, or not skinless, but naked like skin monsters that bite you.
Oh. Ooh.
They poison you. Even their regular attacks that aren't a bite or anything, they poison you. I don't understand how poison works, because you don't seem to get antidotes. Like, they didn't give you any. You also don't have an Estus flask in this game. There's nothing to that like that.
That's really bizarre.
Yeah, there's no rechargeable healing thing. I picked up a few mushrooms that heal you over time, so you don't even get an instant heal.
You just have to get good.
Yeah, and those things are rare drops. And the poison, it seems like the poison will go away if you attack someone while you're poisoned. It's really strange. I could not understand what was happening.
That isn't like a specific insane Dark Souls fan thing, but looking through like threads, I've definitely seen like the game should reward you for always being aggressive. Like one of there's some ring in one of them that will regenerate health when you kill an enemy, and it's basically useless. But a lot of fans have like a fixation on that ring where it's like, that's how healing should be done. You have to engage with the game to heal.
They're like, we're right. Bloodborne's got that thing. It's got the rally system where like your health goes down and then you have to hit something quickly before the red health disappears.
Right. And that felt a lot more logical, because you can see like your health bar has that section. You have to wonder how to get it back, whereas the poison thing is just strange.
It's like Dark Souls. You gotta put it together. You gotta figure it out. It's a part of the lore.
I guess before I even get to the second enemy, I'll tell you how items work in this game.
No.
Every item has no description. It says use it to find out what it does. And after so many uses...
Fuck off.
Yeah. You learn more about that item. So you have to like...
That's fucking stupid.
One mushroom heals you. The other poisons you. You have to eat them to figure it out.
Well, how would your character know? How would your character know if you didn't eat him? It is better in Dark Souls because you did.
I hate this. I hate this so much because I didn't want to say, all right, yeah, they're just insane Dark Souls people, but everything you describe is like, yeah, this sounds like some psychotic hardcore mode where like a fan gets really far up from's ass and decides to make an insane video game no one wants to play.
Yeah, I don't. And then if I haven't really driven this home, that your 3-hit combo feels terrible. It doesn't look like it ever connects right. It just is this lumbering thing, and I think it's the only weapon in the game. I don't know. Maybe you'll find other weapons. Like I said, I didn't even finish area 2.
Sekiro.
But the other enemy in this area is this. He's actually kind of cool. He's like got swords shoved in everywhere, and he rips him out of himself and throws him at you.
That's pretty cool.
And then when he gets low health, he tears his own head off and throws it at you.
Mood.
But that when he tears his head off, like that makes his whole body poisonous. So that's just, oh yeah, you're gonna get poisoned if you let him tear his head off.
I love that. I love the what the fuck is it called? The blood-starved beast. That fucking pile of shit. Where FromSoft is like, this is in the second half of the fight. Standing next to him poisons you.
Wow. So I can't really recommend Mortal Shell, but it's a free beta. I don't know if it'll still be up by the time you get or hear this. I assume it will be, but I don't know. If you're an insane Dark Souls fan, go try it. You're just like, what? It wasn't insane enough. They didn't
stick my dick in a meat grinder.
Right.
If only a game out there was brave enough to do that.
was brave enough to just grind my dick into Chuck.
The only other thing I played this week was Xenoblade. The whole week I was just like, I'm going to finish this game because it feels so close to done.
A gargantuan task, Bob. How we doing?
I got to what I assume is actually finally the ending. And it's like, oh, there are 5 levels higher than you. Die. So I grinded for like probably 3 or 4 hours straight. And now I've got those 6 levels, so I'm ahead of them.
Yeah. It's always hard to know. It's like, is it? But it's totally when you finally hit a thing where they're like, there's no going back once you do this.
I guess I haven't hit that yet. So
yeah, you have not hit the final boss like ending gauntlet until like Dunban says, "Hey man, if you have anything else you want to do," which makes me feel really unfortunate. I sure hope you aren't really far back.
It's frustrating because it's like, I guess I'll tell you the level I hit because that's not spoilers.
Yeah,
I got to the area was at level 70 and everything was at level 75. And that's when I was just screwed. And previously to this, pretty much every time I felt like I had to go level up, I was in a new area. I was able to have a bunch of missions to go do for that area.
All right.
Everything here was just like every mission I found, like, you should be level 90. You should be 80. Yeah, you can't do any of that. Just go power level. Go grind.
I asked people on Twitter when I finished this up a couple of weeks ago.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, what level do you recommend? And some of them were really high, but the ones I got, I finished it comfortably around 79 to 80.
Okay. That's manageable.
Because the last fight is around a 78-ish, 79-ish range.
Yeah, and that's like the worst part of this game, I think, is how the combat feels like it's basically a numbers race. Like, if you're not that level, you just aren't going to be able to stop them.
Yeah, it's MMO rules.
Yeah, it's awful. Like, I really don't like that. Other than that, I've really been enjoying the game. I think that areas after Colony 9 and even after Guar Plains really sell the concept of this huge open world better. Like, I felt like I was seeing more interesting stuff. Is after I got past Guar Plains. Guar Plains has a great song,
it seems stupid. It seems stupid the amount of areas this game has.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, they're still giving me more extravagant, different looking places.
It's insane.
Yeah, like after Colony 6, I think this game goes up like crazy well. Like, it's just, oh wow, why was the first 6 hours here? Yeah, it's interesting. I like that game, but I have a lot of problems with the combat and with the level grind.
Yeah, the level grind is definitely the worst. Xenoblade 2 has it even worse.
Oh,
because
no.
it has D&D-esque skill checks in it. Because what you would do in that is you would get blades, and you would like link up with them, and they would do like moves and stuff in that. But you get the blades through cores, and the cores are a gotcha system inside the game. You don't pay money, but they run in that same way where if you're lucky and you put in enough little energy that you collect, and it's like a good core, you'll get a legendary core crystal, which will be an original designed looking thing. And it would be like super epic. Like that has the Cosmos, whatever.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Xeno Saga.
Can you get Cosmos?
I think Telos is also there.
Yeah, like they put a bunch of those, and a bunch of guest artists did stuff in there for those. But that's even more grindy because each of those blades have their own affinity chart where you have to do certain things like collect 5 bananas.
Ooh, banana.
Do use this move 15 times, and then it gives you like you've unlocked that skill. And there are a couple of progression ones, and then you'll hit a chest. It's like you don't have lock picking level 6 and focus 3. And if you don't like the grinding stuff in Xenoblade 1, you never get through 2 at all, because it's even more aggressive with that part.
Wow. Yeah, and Xenoblade 2's characters and story really didn't grab me the same way 1 did, so I cannot see myself ever playing that.
Definitely would not recommend going through that. Combat's a little bit different. I like some stuff in 2, because 2 has like attack canceling and stuff. Where if you like move as you do an attack, you can like attack faster.
Huh.
Doesn't it also have this insane thing where you pull healing potions out of people with a grappling hook?
Yes, one of your starter moves is Anchor Shot, where Rex, the coolest man of all time, will shoot a grappling hook, and it shoots a potion out on the ground, and that's how you get heals. So then you have to run over to it, because that system is you attack when you're not moving instead of you attack while moving. So the positioning feels a little bit different.
Huh.
In that, I like it, but Bob would hate that shit so bad.
I remember disliking it quite a bit because I played it when it first came out.
Yeah.
But
I also loaded it up recently. That UI is embarrassing, especially coming off of the definitive edition.
I'm really glad these guys got to work on something like Breath of the Wild, where like someone else handles the whole game design stuff and they just make a cool world.
Yeah.
Because they're really good at that. Like, there's some really neat areas in this.
Oh yeah, I love exploring all of the zones in these, and just they constantly show you the scale, and it's really neat.
But that's everything I played this week, other than the stuff we streamed, like Evergrace and Evergrace 2.
Yeah, that's true. We did play Evergrace and Evergrace 2. I'll cover that during my segment, so don't get confused. Let's go to KZ to hear what he's been playing over the last week.
First up, real quick, I tried out a Kingdom Hearts 2 randomizer that apparently has been out for a few weeks. It's an extra mode attached to a thing called the Garden of Assemblage mod, which was the community's effort to make a more streamlined version of this game, where they take the room where you fight the organization's like super boss forms and made each door in it, which you'll remember from like Remind because they used that same room again. Each door, they instead made it go to a different world, and you'll play out the events of that world like a normal playthrough, but they streamlined a bunch of it, and this mod adds random elements to it. So it's a large pool where you can get abilities from chests, you can level up, and you just get a Keyblade from it. Anything could basically happen. They have like a website where you can generate your own seed, and I went through a run of that yesterday, and it went mostly okay. I went a little bit too random on some things, so it ended up taking a little bit longer. But KH2 is one of my favorite games ever, and getting something like this has been so exciting. And it's good to see they didn't go crazy with it. Like, I'm glad that they went, we are not randomizing the enemies or the bosses. We're not going to do that. It's still the same normal game. You'll just get different stuff, so you'll maybe have to plan out your build differently and adapt to different stuff. They also fixed problems that every release of this game has, which I think is funny, and that's the only thing, that's the kind of thing you only get from, like, fans, where one of the fights in Kingdom Hearts 2 is against Demyx, and it's pretty hard fight. You beat
What
that,
time
and
is
then you
it?
have it's Demyx time. On my desk, aggro, make an edit right now. Base it on something from this episode of Big Think Dimension. You do that fight, and then there's a gauntlet of fights afterward with Final Fantasy characters. If you die during those, you're before Demyx, and you have to do that all again. So these modders just straight up added a checkpoint to the game. Something that they have not done on any re-release from actual Square. And also certain scenes that could never be skipped, like any of the ending, now can be skipped. They entirely cut minigame sections people don't want to play anymore.
Did it do the most important thing, which was slowing down Sora's dodge roll and making it have no iframes?
No, in
Jesus
fact, but
Christ.
thanks to the randomizer, you can actually get more dodge rolls than possible, because you'll like get the specific form that has dodge roll, you'll get its dodge roll, so you'll actually do it better.
Hot damn.
Like, my movement ended up better than you actually can get normally in the game. But yeah, they cut out stuff like the final boss sequence has like a part where you're flying and you're taking down a giant dragon. They just cut that because they're like, you've played this game. You're coming at this to just do runs of it. So we just cut it. So you're just fighting that one boss twice. We'll just take out the fillery.
Yeah, I thought that was really cool, honestly. That was when I was like, oh my god, yeah.
I popped off so hard, and like, oh, you fixed every problem I hypothetically thought that I would want out of here. So it's like, if you want just the straight experience for that, it's great. Also, Oogie Boogie has a fight in that game where you have to keep knocking him off a glass like box.
Yeah.
And after you do like a third of his health and he goes. They changed it so you knock him down once and you can kill him. They're like, yeah, you can just do one loop. A lot of this was mainly because they wanted to do like races and stuff, because you can share seeds for this, which is nice. And you can also entirely set up so certain worlds don't appear in the random pool, so you can skip ones you don't like. So they give you a lot of freedom with that. We had a good stream. Someone paid me to do Atlantica, so Dan got to see that for the first time. I could feel the energy coursing through him as he watched it. Like, I could feel him just go, oh.
It's so bad.
It really is.
It's not great. But this mod's fantastic. One of the best ones I've seen. Hopefully when another mod comes out or gets another update, Kingdom Hearts Critical Mix, I'll show that off. A mod where they turned Kingdom Hearts 1 into Devil May Cry and gave Sora Max Act. So probably.
When you gonna do the? Have you ever done the mod where you just of KH2 where you just play as Vanitas?
I have not. That one just seems like it's gonna break at a moment's notice, because they're doing all of this through like cheat stuff in emulators. But I do have to try that one. But that's it for that. The next couple of games I got access to early.
Ooh.
So there's your disclosure on that. I'll start with the one I guess coming out soonest. Bloodstained Curse of the Moon 2. I played like 6 or 7 hours of that. Probably less thinking about it, but I went through a good chunk of it. That game's good. I enjoy that quite a bit. It's just like the last one. I forget a lot of the general stuff going on in the first one, because I only played that one when it launched, like that weekend.
Yeah.
So I might like say some repeating stuff. But you have Zangetsu. You have 3 new characters. You got Dominique. You've got Hachi, which is the dog that's in the giant robot, which I think is really great.
Yeah.
And then you got another one, which I'm trying to remember his name, Robert.
Yes.
Who's a mercenary. And all of them are really varied, and I think the general flow playing and swapping between them is great. Like, all of them have a really good use. Hachi especially, where it's spikes don't hurt you. You jump on them and they shatter because you're in a giant mech. And you can do a hover, you can do like a ground pound. And he doesn't have sub-weapons at all. He just has one button that makes him invincible and just drains your sub-weapon energy. Which then means if you hit a sub-weapon like Candle, it just gives you more sub-weapon energy instead. They just give you a clump of it. So it's fun, like going through and switching characters to adapt to the situations. I liked some of the moves, like they gave Dominique a sub-weapon that is a plant that you throw down, and it will hatch a heart that comes out of it. So I would just get a bunch of energy and just do a bunch of plants, then switch to characters that are almost dead and just heal them up. And she also has an incredibly rare sub-weapon that only has one use, that revives anyone who's dead and heals everybody.
Oh, that's neat.
So that actually, that has saved some runs for me. Where I'm like, oh yeah, I just fell into that hole. It's not great. You've got that. You've got some items out in the world you can pick up that like increase your health, your weapon energy, your attack power. There's like 8 stages that you go through. All the bosses are cool. Like some of them are from the main Bloodstained game. Like you've seen in all the early stuff. Like the first boss from Bloodstained is in there. That fight was all right. There is one boss I don't like, which is one of those, you have to climb moving things to hit him, like at the end of Mega Man X1, and I never liked that fight, and I don't like this here either, because there's shit on the wall shooting you while it's happening.
Yeah, that sounds pretty Mega Man X1.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the point I hit where I'm like, okay, let me switch to the mode that doesn't have Castlevania 3 knockback anymore. I can't deal with this. Because that's the point where they started placing more pits and enemies that are going to snipe me into these pits.
Yep.
and I was like, this was that point. But overall, I enjoyed it. I beat episode 1, which they said this game had an episode system, and I can't speak too much past it because I haven't gotten through a lot of it. But I beat episode 1, and it felt like it was the whole game. Episode 2, the whole game again, but with one less party member. I have not encountered any of the original characters. Like, something happens at the end of episode 1, and they're like, and now they journey, and it's continuing the continuity of the story. You just have one less character based on things that happen. It's all the same stages again, but the bosses are harder. They have, like, different attacks.
So that's actually pretty similar to the structure of the first one in that it really implored you to play through multiple times to develop it and make it harder and change story stuff. So it's really interesting that they put a giant neon sign on it this time.
Yeah, it seems like, because I looked up Curse of the Moon 1, and it was like you have to beat it again on Nightmare mode, and it replaces a stage.
Yep.
Is my understanding.
Yep.
Yeah, this it seems they're making it an episode list so that you know that you're progressing to that goal. Like, I looked at the old levels and I'm like, there are some things I cannot get through, so they definitely are shortcuts made for other characters. I'm about halfway through episode 2, but yeah, it's those same bosses again, but they have like an extra attack, or some attacks do different stuff. Their health is higher.
I think that the funniest part of that is that they advertise this having an episode system. It's like, so wait, you just named the thing it was like before? That's weird. That's not a new feature.
New feature. We named that shit so that way you people understood what we did.
Yes. I think it's pretty good. You get like midway through that game, and Zangetsu just go, all right, his moveset has now just become good. Like, they just gave him a bunch of extra, like, it's like halfway through the stages, they're like, now he can do all of this stuff. And it makes sense because he ends up being a bit weaker early on when you compare to something like Dominique, who has better range, a better jump. And
is it just the stuff he got in the first game from killing your party members?
I guess I never killed my party members. He ends up unlocking like a slash combo, like his dark ball that he can throw down becomes a geyser.
Does he get a double jump?
He does not get a double jump. I didn't encounter one, at least.
Okay.
He has like a move where he jumps and has like a spinning slash in the air.
That is the same, but he got like a double jump.
Yeah, but they definitely, they're like, you now have all of these new techniques, and it made it a lot better. It's very fun. I like going up to bosses that are stationary as Hachi, turning on invincibility and mashing the button and killing them. Because the game does not actually plan for that.
Awesome.
All skill.
But yeah, I think that's good. It might end up being my favorite one of their games, just because it feels pretty polished.
Yeah.
Really, really enjoyable. The level design seems fine. I'm just never a fan of Castlevania type whole stuff. I'm miserable at these types of games, but I still had fun with it. And some of the bosses are really nice and extravagant.
Yeah, I feel like Curse of the Moon 1 was Inti Create's best game, so I'm sure I'll probably really like this one. You played it on Switch, right?
Yes.
Okay, so
I got a code for the Switch version. Worked fine.
Weirdly enough, it says it's supposed to come out on everything. What's it? Last Friday from when this podcast comes out, but the pre-order page isn't up on PlayStation yet. I don't know how Xbox looks.
That's always weird, where sometimes you just got to wait till the day it's out, which then means you have to wait till like 3 PM for PlayStation Store to put it up there, for example.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's also some really interesting level stuff. Like once you, because I know you'll play it, once you hit like the last stage, they have a cool level gimmick that I did not expect from this type of game, that you've seen in other games, but I think was really cool. So just overall, I'm pretty positive on it. I was just a little disappointed when I learned the episode system was not like new content.
That's fair. Yeah.
But I should have thought so when I was like, man, we're 6 levels into this episode thing.
I'm gonna ask the committee here, Bob especially. Bob, you described this as not a new feature. They're just rebranding an old thing and acting like it's a new feature. Would you say this is the smart delivery of Bloodstain?
Yeah. I think so.
Okay. I was just curious.
That is That's pretty good.
Yeah, smart delivery is pretty good. I think we have a news story about that we'll get to later. Did you play anything else, KZ?
Yes, I went to a Ubisoft preview event, and by the time this comes out, I won't be breaking any rules, so I can talk about it.
Nice.
Went to the Ubisoft Forward preview event, because they will have done a conference or a show of some sort showing off a variety of games. It let me play the new Watch Dogs Legion, and I sat down for about 4 hours going through the game. I got to play the intro section that like sets things up, and then they kind of put me, from the way they described it, about midway through the game in the open world, doing some main story missions, some side content, and I think that game's cool. It might be one of their better open world games. To set it up, the basic premise is you're in London. You're a part of that DedSec hacker group that's in all the games. And they get framed for bombing London, like multiple places. And then they're like, the whole place is under lockdown. It is now under control by super cops.
Super cops.
The Super Albion Corporation, like, police group have taken over. Like, crime bosses are reigning in.
Are they Abstergo? Does it come up in this preview?
No, I did not see anything like that. They're like, this is Albion, and they're like the corporate like super cops, where it's like, oh no, this isn't good. They're like military-esque energy to them, and you play as the
Which is very different from regular cops, right?
yeah, of course. I think it's really funny that they said this game is not the Ubisoft itself says this game is not political at all, and then I watched the presentation and I went, the developers have a much different intent here. But they drop you into the open world. What I think is really interesting about this, and they showed it at the E3 presentation, is that you can just recruit random people on the street, and they have like different stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like they showed you like recruiting an old woman, and I feel like this is one of the main reasons why this ended up getting delayed as well, is because it seems sort of ambitious, because there is a lot of people that you can recruit. And through the story, whoever you have recruited plays out the story itself. There's no one main character. It's whoever you're playing as. So I ended up going out and recruiting a hitman. And once I finished like going out and doing a mission where he was killing some of the bad guys, and then he ended up getting captured, and I had to sneak him out. And then I switched to him, and then he voiced all the cutscenes.
Oh, that's cool.
They had to have a lot. They seem to have like dozens upon dozens of people like recording the same lines, the same like general dialogue for all of the missions and stuff. And I thought that was really cool.
Yeah,
they all have like their own unique skill sets.
That's what they advertise, so it's cool to see that them actually maybe did that.
Yeah, it feels like they're actually following through with it. I had a spy, and they're like, this is the spy. One of his powers is just he becomes invisible for like 15 seconds, and then it goes on like a cooldown. He also, whenever you pick him, he spawns in with his spy car. Yes, from the front will open up, and you can shoot missiles. Because that's what you want a spy to do.
But dying, you lose that character, right?
If you die, there's like different situations where I think some it's straight up death, but in my experience, I got one where they're arrested, and it'll take them some time to actually get out. But if you bring in, I think if they said it was a barrister into DedSec, they'll help get them out faster. Or you get a paramedic to join your group, they'll get them healed up faster if they just go to the hospital. So they have a whole system for that. So like I screwed up a couple of times on a mission, and I just, all right, I'll switch to this person. And then there's advantages, like if you're going to sneak into a construction site, get a construction worker in there, and they can actually go in like and be able to get access to it. But it's kind of like other stealth games like Hitman, for example, where you have the disguise, but if anyone who actually works there like looks at you for more than 3 seconds, they'll know you're full of shit and immediately start attacking you or sounding an alarm. So it's like that thing of, all right, I'm going to fast walk. Let me go around this corner very quickly. Yeah, there's a bunch of interesting like little moves there. Like I played a construction worker, and one of their abilities is to summon a drone for work, but it's a super heavy duty large one, so you can climb it, hack it, and just fly with it. So toward the end of my demo, I just flew halfway across the city to get to objectives faster.
So wait, does he ride on top or does he like hold on to it?
Yeah, he jumps on top of it, does some shit on his phone in the bottom, and then it just lifts up, and you're just floating above everything.
Awesome.
I parked one in an alleyway outside a building. Had 2 characters, including the person that made it die. But I finished the mission, and as another person, I went, they don't load it out. You can just run back and get back on it. And they're like, yeah, you can just get back to it.
I was going to ask you, during this event, did they talk about any release date stuff?
They did not. It was more of a just thing where they're like, we want to get you to play it, and then you can release any of the content for it. They think it's that the 12th after their show.
I'm sure that show is going to tell us the release date and stuff.
Yeah,
right.
If they're letting people play it.
This game seems like it's come together. Like I encountered a couple of glitches, but it's stuff that I'm like, I've played buggier games now. Like this feels like a fall release type of thing.
Gotcha.
It kind of looks like it, but yeah, it seemed to run fine. They had to stream it to me, so there was some input delay there. But even despite that, did not have as much input delay as just playing Ghost Recon Breakpoint now. So
of course,
and this was being streamed through multiple through a couple of ways. Overall, it seems really solid. I'm actually really into the gameplay loop of that, and there seems to be plenty of funny characters you can get where they're like, here's a beekeeper, but it's the future-esque, so they got like a hologram mask and they can shoot out cyber bees or something. and I'm like, okay, I want this. Unfortunately, I killed the person I needed for their mission. They're like, they won't like that. It failed me. So I lost that person, but it seems like the best one of these they've done so far. It's got that levity, because I know the first one had that problem of not really, it was being played super straight with a really serious, boring main character was my read of it for the first Watch Dogs.
What's an iconic hat?
One. Yeah, the iconic hat.
Mm-hmm.
Then they went a bit more funny with the second one. And this one you have a computerized AI guy who's like some quippy British robot that talks about things and makes jokes and gives you information on quests, and he seemed okay. But overall, I enjoyed what I played of it. It seems like it's all pretty solid. I just like the fact that, I constantly felt like I was switching main characters and it was adapting to that, which I can't think of another game that does that.
Yeah,
that's
they said in the other thing that you could be like anyone in the city. Did you get that feeling? Like,
yes, because you can scan every person, and you can try and do that, but they like highlight some of the more specialized ones.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was my read where they're like, here's this person, and it's like simulated lives, so you can like mark them to be like, I want to get this person later. And then it'll tell you they'll be here, 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 and here at this and this time.
Huh.
So you'll be able to like go out and like specifically gun for this person and add them to your group. The last thing that I thought was funny about it was you have your base is near a bar, and you can play darts in there. So it's yet another game this year I played in which they simulated a darts game, but you can go over and drink and it'll make it harder. You can just get really drunk, and then the mini game gets really hard.
Yeah, I know the internal Watch Dogs always felt more empty inside of locations than like something like a GTA or even lower range stuff like Saints Row. So does it at least feel better that, like, say in Watch Dogs, I could go in basically any restaurant and all you could do is order the same soda and you drink it and leave.
I didn't go into too many like buildings to do like random open world stuff. It was mainly like buildings specifically for like missions and stuff.
Okay.
And those were really populated, obviously.
Yeah, I was gonna say, did they like try and streamline you to do that, or would they have let you just like do whatever?
They would straight up just said, you're in the open world, do whatever you want for like 3 or 4 hours.
Okay.
We have a couple of main missions that have like 3 or 4 things to do in them. And when I finished that, they're like, there's also these things you can do too. I pretty much exhausted like all the interesting content that they had in there so far.
Yeah, you played it totally different than what I would have done if given that experience. Like,
yes, I didn't want to jump at a wall to try and break it in front while this nice preview lady who's watching you play, like, you okay?
I would have
like, that seam looks interesting. Shoves face into it for 15 minutes.
like the first thing I want to do in most open worlds is get a boat and see how they cut me off from leaving. Like, does it just start turning itself around or what?
Oh my god, I felt so bad. So there are hacking puzzles in this shit, right? Where you have to line up like a connection, a circuit to another thing to unlock it to then do a thing. And there are several parts where you spin something to like make the circuit, where it's like 3-prong shaped. So you like spin it, and you gotta make it go across an area. And I did so miserably on both, where I'm like, all right, come on, help me out here. And they're like, there's a camera you can hack and it'll make you see it better. I'm like, thank you, God. So when we hit the third one, I literally said out loud, oh, Jesus. And she just started laughing. Because of that one, I'm like, oh, God, I hope this one's all right. I'm in a spider robot this time, and that one was the better one because I could actually run around and see things easier. But I was so scared of just, like, bumbling for 8 minutes on this stupid fucking puzzle.
Okay, KZ, you said spider robot. You have to clarify. Is that like a little one on the ground with a camera, or is it like a giant Ghost in the Shell one?
It is a little one with a camera. Okay. You deploy it, and then it's like running across. I was like running across like wires and stuff inside like a big central computer room type thing. It's kind of like the spider robot used in the hit game 007 Everything or Nothing for the PS2, GameCube, and Xbox.
Okay,
it's a real solid game. Both share spider robots in them. Yeah, that's it. It seemed good. I'm excited to actually play that, and that's cool. I didn't get into the Assassin's Creed one. I saw that they're doing that.
Oh man,
I feel like I missed out.
Yeah, right. You could see it running at above 30, maybe.
That's what they said.
Yeah, probably. That's it for me. That was my week. It was very action packed.
We're gonna go to Mr. Feel next. Mr. Feel, what you been playing?
It's time, everybody. Everybody start clapping. It's the last time we have to talk about Danganronpa on this podcast unless they release a new game.
We? Who is this we?
We're finally done. I finally beat it. I hadn't beaten it last week, so I didn't talk about it. But I finally just beat the last Danganronpa game I hadn't played. Danganronpa, another episode. Ultra Despair Girls, a game that I expected to be really bad because everybody told me it was just abysmal. I really liked it.
Yeah, for some reason I always got the vibe looking at videos of that game that it was pretty good. So when everyone was like, "Oh, it's bad," I'm like, "What?"
It's Resident Evil 4. They copied Resident Evil 4. How it feels to aim and walk feels exactly like Resident Evil 4. I think you even walk and run at the exact same speeds.
Can you shoot someone in the head and then kick their head off?
No, but it's barely a shooter. I played on normal, and there's like a super baby easy mode where you have infinite usage of your devil trigger. But I played on normal, and it was like a ridiculously easy cakewalk. I think I got hit less than 10 times. But yeah, I really enjoyed the story. I enjoyed the characterization. One of my favorite protagonists in video games, I think, because she's so dumb. Yeah. And not only is she dumb, like there's these parts where kids will come up and give you a riddle that you have to do to progress. And your partner character will be like, fucking ignore those kids. And she's like, no, I must own this child.
That is one of the high moments, like, no, I can't lose.
And then you solve the puzzle, and she like gets up in the kid's face and starts like banging her, just like, I fucking owned you.
You know, I have to agree. Given that this game's entire premise is Fuck them kids. I agree.
This child, by the way, is like 10.
And how old is your character?
Like 16.
Okay. God.
Still pretty bad.
Yeah, it's still pretty bad.
Like it's still no. Surprisingly, it's completely voice acted. So in that way, it's like has more money than the mainline ones. Although I think like if you like racked up the voice dialogue in the mainline ones, it would be equivalent because they're so much longer.
Yeah, those trials are like 2 hours.
But yeah, like the biggest complaint about the game is that it just doesn't let you play it enough. It's still really, really story heavy and like almost a visual novel a lot of times.
Okay, yeah.
It's so hilariously uncomfortable sometimes.
There's an absolutely incredible element to the game where one of the things you can find are books. And like the partner character who was from the first game is the ultimate novelist. That's her special talent, is that she's the best. She's a super talented novelist. So every time you find a book, she's just horribly vicious to it and says things like, "No, I'd rather kill myself than read a single sentence of this book." Because it's always some horribly schlocky shit.
Right.
It's a romance novel about a girl who has a bomb in her womb that'll go off if she falls in love. And the main character's like, "Oh, I love this series." And the other character's like, "Oh, fucking put a gun in my mouth if I ever have to read this fucking garbage." And it's like that for it's really great. I just wish it let you play it more. I also didn't expect a Danganronpa game to ever end with jackpot.
Oh god, yeah, it does end with jackpot. Yeah, it does.
But yeah, highly recommended if you're like, "No, everybody says that game's bad." It's not. It's great. And I didn't really play anything else of note.
Oh, okay.
It's cool. It's got a pedophile in it.
Yes, it does. It is so funny how like he's like,
not someone who performed in it, the actual character, because I feel like I have to differentiate.
It's fucking
nowadays.
sad in 2020. We have to fucking clarify.
Right. God.
It's the character in the thing.
Especially because the character is voiced by Matt Mercer, and he's just doing he's just doing his impersonating Troy Baker voice.
Oh,
Oh God.
So if you listen to Troy Baker in Tales of Vesperia, he's doing that voice. But yeah, there's this part of the game where he's just like, "Oh, by the way, I'm a pedophile." One of the characters is like, "Oh," because he leads you somewhere, and they're like, "Oh, you just want to assault us," and he's like, "No, I wouldn't assault you. I like them young as possible," talking to a 16-year-old.
Yeah, no, that's fucked. Jesus.
I remember that, and I remember there was a section like midway through where your main character gets strapped down.
Yeah, they get tied to a table, and like you have to ward off hands trying to tickle them.
I just remember that ends up happening. You get rescued, and your second main character.
Oh no!
Your main
that line
character
bothered me so much.
Your main character is called Komaru, and then she goes Komaru, and it's spelled like cum.
Yes. No, she literally says more like Komaru, and
Yes.
and it goes over like a lead balloon.
So this sounds like a game for intellectuals.
A little bit.
Well, Phil is the smartest guy I know.
That's all I had.
Okay. I actually played a decent bit this week. We did a death stream of Evergrace, the PS2 launch RPG that's made by From Software. They're still using animations from it in Dark Souls 2.
Stop that.
You mean the PS2 greatest of all time? Yeah.
Yes.
Goaty.
Yes, the goatee that is Evergrace. Evergrace is it has a delightful narrative, and unlike Dark Souls games, the main character talks to characters and has spoken dialogue, and it is fantastically delivered by people who have no idea what it's doing in the story. So the tone in delivery is, how do you say, almost dreamlike. The narrative itself is almost dreamlike in how characters interact and the progression of elements, especially when it comes to the final boss, who they are and why. it was a really fun game. We made that stream much longer than it needed to be because we decided to get as many stat points as we could from an item that has a guaranteed drop if you leave the shop. So we would run in the shop, run out of the shop, kill this enemy right next to it that drops what they call blue fruit, which would give you 5 stats. You have 5 different types of stats you can put it in, and you can cap at 200 points. Do that math, audience. We did that on both characters. It was a really fun stream. I think the major failing with Evergrace is that near the end, the puzzle design is garbage.
Yes.
We're talking they made a mirror room where you're supposed to reflect light from 3 different colored mirrors onto one specific spot to make a certain color to open a door in the labyrinth. Problem, they don't show which direction the light's going, and it doesn't really make sense with the way you're turning it, and the color combining doesn't make sense, and you can't turn one of the mirrors for some reason. It's a nightmare, and the amount of describing I can do won't do it justice. It just sucks. Aside from that, the combat's really fucking simple. But it was one of those things of when it came out on the PS2, it was kind of like revolutionary. You know, it was FromSoft made 3 different launch titles for the North American launch.
Because they're crazy.
Because they're crazy. They made what was it? What's the name of the actual game? Eternal Ring?
Yeah,
nothing like Elden Ring. It is a Kingsfield-like game, so it's first person. And people have compared it to Dark Souls, the Kingsfield series. They made Armored Core 2, which I love, and then they made this. The thing that's impressive about Evergrace, at least for the time, 1, runs at 60 frames per second, looks real nice. For some reason in the sequel, they dropped that and run at 30 and have all sorts of effects that look questionable. 2, every piece of equipment affected how your character looked, which was really impressive at the time. It has a nice seamless flow to it where, you move to an area, you have a cutscene there maybe, and then you go into the next area. Everything's interconnected and really nice in that way. Evergrace 2 also dropped that. And when I say it dropped that, I mean like it was a bad habit. Like it was a hot potato. That game, it doesn't even make remote sense where you are at the end of a cutscene. Like a cutscene ends, you're now in a dungeon. I'm just like, what? Where's this relative to everything else? It kind of sucked. I was really disappointed by Evergrace 2, or as it's known in America, Forever Kingdom, which is a really bad name. I don't know why they named it that, but in Japan it was Evergrace 2, and in Europe they never got it. You're lucky. But yeah, Evergrace 1 has the most pinnacle launch title feature you could ever have. Bob, do you know what that is?
I'm not sure.
Button pressure sensitivity.
Of course.
You got to hit the square button really hard to swing really hard.
I like that they included a way to turn that off, so just hitting the button will hit max strength.
Yeah. No, that's appreciated. In all seriousness, that's appreciated. I think the game's pretty playable by modern standards. I think the number one failing is, something I should stress because some people out there say shit they don't know anything about and put it in a video and immortalize it. Using the right analog stick to move the camera was not common in 2000. It was still cutting edge to have 2 sticks on a controller. Evergrace.
You're right. Kingdom Hearts didn't do it. You had to use L2 and R2.
Yeah, so Evergrace also does that, which I think that's one of the ways it ages the most poorly. Because, man, I don't know, pushing shoulder buttons to move your camera left and right kind of sucks when you have a stick that doesn't really do much. But it does one thing, which is even crazier than the camera thing. In order to quick switch your equipment, you smash the analog stick in a random direction.
Yeah, just flick the stick and you'll switch your weapon.
Most of the time. Sometimes it doesn't pick up what you're trying to do with the right analog stick, whose sole function is to do this.
Also, I mean, we're talking about the camera. That camera's terrible.
That camera is terrible.
It is one of the worst you can conceive of, honestly.
It's as we call it, FromSoft Core. I actually don't know how much they fixed their camera in their newer games. I know Demon's Souls was real rough.
It still just goes through things in ways you wouldn't want it to and gets way too close to your character because they designed corridors too small sometimes.
Yeah.
But it's nowhere near this.
Yeah. Well, I would hope not. I would hope not. It's been 20 years. But But yeah, Evergrace was pretty fun. I really enjoyed streaming that for everyone. I don't know. How did you feel about it, Bob? You were there too.
It was okay.
Yeah.
Like, I probably wouldn't want to do it again. Those puzzles are really bad.
But see, now we know the solutions.
Yeah, now we know the
Which helps.
solutions.
Let me explain the other type of bad puzzle, because I only talked about the mirror room.
Yeah.
Here's the other type of bad puzzle. You'll come up on a statue that has red boots, and that's all the statue is. And this tells you need to run all the way back to the save point, which is the shop room, change boots to boots that look like those, and color them red. And then run all the way back to the statue, and now it will teleport you further in the temple. There's one, quote, level that is that 3 times in a row. It is rough. Like, I don't know what they were thinking.
I'd love to drink this water with red boots alone.
Yes! It was, it was definitely that tier of thing.
And before that, we had the other puzzle that was like, oh, you need to get every elemental weapon. And to do that, you don't just need the weapon, you need to level the weapon up.
So you had to use a spell.
Yeah.
And spells are tied to equipment. Your character doesn't learn things. So you would have to level up that equipment with currency to unlock the spell that you would use on a thing. Sometimes it's a door that has a really obvious thing on it. Other times it's this room keeps owning you with fire. Wish you had ice, don't ya?
And most of them make sense, but sometimes it's like, what was it? Like the insanity that is grass beats lightning.
Yes, that was fucking bizarre. But yeah, I feel like, you know, once you've gone through it, you can get its insane logic down.
Mm-hmm.
But that game's definitely better with a strategy guide, because how the fuck am I supposed to figure out that you type match with the door, but use the opposite with what's on the other side of that door? Like, it's so weird. There's a lot of weird things like that in that game, but I overall enjoyed it. I enjoyed it more than the Dark Souls games I've tried. There's a lot to be said for running at 60 frames per second and moving in a direction when you push the stick in that direction. So about Evergrace 2. That game does everything it can to make me dislike it. It runs at 30 frames per second. Everything is shiny for some reason. They put a really heavy depth of field filter on stuff that looks kind of neat. It kind of just runs really bad in general. It feels really bad in general. You play as 3 characters simultaneously and push a button to switch in between them. Only some characters can equip some things, and I cannot describe why this is so frustrating, but it is. It's kind of just a mess, because you'll go into your character bio and read, what was it? This is main character man. He can use these types of things, but he can only use fire, but he can also use these. And you have to keep all of that in mind for all 3 characters. Or you'll go to the shop and be like, why can't I equip this on them? Oh, it's one of those things where you got to think ahead, because of course this game, just like that game, you need certain element equipment in order to open doors or chests or whatever.
What I couldn't get over is just how much worse the combat feels in every way. It's like, wow, this is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Because Evergrace 1 is not a high bar.
No, it's not. It's not even close to even Dark Souls, I would say.
No.
In move variety and weapon variety. But somehow they found a way to make it worse than 2.
Probably making 3 playable characters.
Yeah, they should probably make a 1 actually really playable character instead of 3 playable by the definition of the word characters. So Evergrace 2 was not great. But that's okay. I enjoyed figuring out that there was a sequel to Evergrace. I enjoyed playing Evergrace. I enjoyed seeing a part of Dark Souls 2 in the ending of Evergrace. I was like, oh my god. Because for people who haven't had the lore, which I have to repeat because not everyone watches all the same content, the first time I saw Dark Souls 2 on the PS4 running at 60 frames per second, I'm like, that shit looks like a launch PS2 RPG I played back in the day, not realizing that Evergrace was made by FromSoft. Back then, I didn't know who was the publisher and who was the developer, because somehow FromSoft and H-Tech shipped 3 games for launch. That shit was confusing.
Hopefully they do it again.
Could you imagine PS5 launch Evergrace 3?
Yeah, Evergrace 3, Elden Ring.
Elden Ring 2. No, wait, it's a reboot. Elden Ring.
Elden's Rings.
And Blood Borrowed.
What? As a loan system? But yeah, no,
Ooh.
those were really
Durability.
fun. Of course, it's a FromSoft game. But yeah, no, that was fun. I really like the soundtrack to Evergrace 1. It has a very unique flavor to it. It's not as aggressively annoying if you don't exit and enter the shop over 1,600 times, you know?
Yeah, I came in during the most boring shit ever.
Yeah, no, you came in during Dan's Brain Spiders has dictated, and Bob's there with him, that we should just grind to max stats.
That's why when you said, and then we decided, I'm like, I feel like Dan was the spearhead of this project.
Well, the funny thing is, I didn't say anything at first. I was like, I would feel bad pressuring Bob.
The chat seemed really into it too, so I couldn't deny them.
Yeah, no.
You've trained them
Oh yeah, no, they also love being strong, Casey.
better, faster, stronger.
But yeah, no, that game was really fun. Moving on, I got new retro equipment. I was in the first shipment of what's called the Mode. You can tell it's a retro gaming product because it has a bad name. Is that name?
They should have called it the Mood.
That would have been just as valid. That would have been just as valid to the vast majority of people, because most people don't know what an ODE is. So the name Mode doesn't mean anything to them. Guys, it is...
That's the dog in Garfield.
You nailed it. I bought a dog from Garfield to stuff into my Sega Saturn.
I need a new shirt.
So to clarify who this is made by and what the product is. The Mode is made by Terra Onion, the same people who have made a number of other products like the Mega SD and the Super SD System 3, both of which are optical disc emulators or flash carts for the Sega Genesis and the TurboGrafx. This is a disc drive replacement for the Sega Saturn and Dreamcast. You can use it on either. It takes USB drives, it takes SSDs, and it can also take micro SD cards. You have to install it in your system, and that process on the Dreamcast is incredibly simple. What they did not tell people ahead of time is that the process for installing it on the Saturn sucks ass to the point where it's not, you don't have to solder. Here's the fucked up part. Most people agree if you soldered it, it would be easier. Reason being, if you're using a normal hard drive on this fucking thing, you're going to want to use, on the Sega Saturn, the external optional power cable. Because apparently the Sega Saturn doesn't kick enough juice towards the disk drive to power a SATA drive or hard drive in the SATA port. This cable that they ship is the shortest fucking thing in the world. And what you have to do with it is fucking insane. You have to insert the exposed end of the wire into a really incredibly difficult thing to describe, but it is the entire power supply board slides down on top of 4 pins, like 4 really deep, tall, spike-like pins. And they have the crimp that connects with it, so that way it can, send electricity through there. You have to insert these wires carefully into 2 specific spots. Do not fuck them up or you will fry the Mode and your Saturn. And you need to slide them on just right so the crimping force is strong enough to keep the wires in, and then you can plug the other end into the Mode. I thought I was an idiot and exceptionally bad at this. No, everyone fucking hates it, and it's unreal that they told no one. 1, and 2, they didn't give people a longer cable. This thing sucks so bad. Day 1, it shows up, it doesn't work. I thought, oh shit, did the cable come loose while I was reattaching some stuff? Did I break it? Did it break it? What's going on? I'm really pissed off because it took like 20 some odd tries to put the cable in there. So I take the cable out. I try to put it back in. I try 20, 25, maybe 30 more times. The end of the red wire, which is the 5-volt cable in here, snaps off. It's just fucking gone. So this unbelievably short cable is now impossible to use in this arrangement. And all of this is because the only reason I give a shit about the optional external power supply cable is because when this shit wouldn't boot correctly. Terra Onion on their own forum was like, did you connect that? And that's all they said to the guy. And I'm like, that's my only course of action right now. Did you connect that? Well, fuck it, just snap. So I'm pissed. This took hours. It's not working. And I'm just like, fuck, today's wasted. I really hate trying to improve things in my life. Why do I even try? So I go home. I go to sleep. And I'm like,
this happens so often.
And I'm just like, I'm done trying to improve shit for the channel. I'm fucking done with this.
That's not true.
I've taken, no, that's how I feel. I feel like it really fed into some nasty thoughts that I try to not talk about here on the channel in any content. And yeah, I just felt defeated and terrible and awful and really pissed at them for shipping such garbage. And I put it away. I pack it up completely. I put it in the original packaging. I put it upstairs in Bob's house. I go home. I take off my shoes. I take off my shirt. I'm about to get in bed. An email pops up. Hey, we just put a firmware update up. See if that works. So I try my best.
And then the Seinfeld music starts playing and the credits roll.
Yes. Or
Curb, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, or Curb. It just starts blaring that so loud that it's clipping in my brain.
Mm-hmm.
I sit there and just, to be clear, I already know that from other people talking about it, the way it installs the firmware is by getting to the menu. It won't get to the menu. How the fuck am I supposed to install? So I'm like, whatever. I'm not even at Bob's. I'm not at the Saturn. I don't need to think about it. So I go to sleep. I wake up. I come. We record content the next day. And as soon as we're done recording content, I find one line in the firmware update. By the way, before this moment, that firmware update didn't exist. They shipped it late enough where my Saturn was guaranteeably broken for a day. Or my mode was. There's one line. If you rename this file, it will install the firmware update the moment it gets power instead of you need to get to that menu. And lo and behold, that actually fixed it. I don't fucking... They shipped something that was broken out of the box and put a firmware update out the next day. That fixed it. That power cable thing is still a nightmare, though. Luckily, I only intended to use USB drives with it, though I would like the option to use 2/3 of my fucking product. Or I guess it's 1/3, because it's the SATA port that won't guaranteeably work without that power supply cable. Terra Onion should be sending people replacement power cables with some actual fucking length, because Jesus fucking Christ, that thing sucks. But yeah, we can now play Sega Saturn games. Tosh and I played Bust Move 3. It's really good, really solid from what I heard. There's a couple problems in the launch firmware, and there's still one or two problems on the new firmware, but that product seems all right. We need to do a Saturn Retro Roulette to check that out fully at some point. But guys, let me tell you about my next death stream idea. I believe it was Bob had this idea. Okay, so credit to Bob.
I don't know if I want credit for this.
So Virtual Highlight has a seed. When it randomly generates the entire world in Virtual Highlight, it makes a seed. So we should do a four streamer stream where we all collaborate to beat this one seed in Virtual Highlight. It's going to be really cool. It's going to be great for anyone who... For anyone who hasn't seen Virtual Highlight, it doesn't look like a real video game.
It is the most laughable thing.
Here I am, knee deep in figuring. I'm like, oh man, I wonder how this will change my Kingdom Hearts 2 random seed. And you're like, Virtual Highlight. That hits me like a truck to my jaw.
Virtual Highlight's very powerful. It's the game where that guy said, I wanted it to be like Ratchet and Clank. And it's like, how? How in the world?
Stop saying
What?
that.
How in the world does that make
How'd
sense?
you miss this?
How in the world does this make sense to your brain? For the audience, here's an image of fucking Virtual Highlight. If someone could tell me how that is supposed to be Ratchet and Clank, feel free.
There's a lot of things that I'm willing to get on your level to do for content. I will never touch Virtual Highlight. Not a fucking chance.
That's fair. I probably shouldn't touch it either, but that's now...
Yeah, you also should not.
He doesn't have to touch it if we just calls in and walks us does the death stream with us.
Sure, deal.
Now!
I will absolutely do a death stream of Virtual Highlight with you. It'll hurt, but I don't want to press these buttons.
Every stream of Virtual Highlight is a death stream. It's whether or not you know stepping in. Oh man, that game's so fucking bad. But yeah, luckily the mode's working. Terra Onion should really, I don't know, understand their consumer isn't them, and they should make things able to be installed at all. Fuck, dude, seriously. But that's all I played this week. So I guess
That means it's time.
we're gonna talk about the Pod Lords.
The Pod Lords. Oh no.
Pod Lords.
Ah, yes, the Podlords. Podlords such as Danny Richardson, Ely Broyles.
Ely Broyles.
They Podlord now?
They Pod Lords.
They pod lord now.
60 frames per second Atlantica.
60 frames per second Atlantic.
I'm sorry, Casey. Red Blaze 27.
Red Blaze 27.
Unused Jucifer data.
Use user for data.
Suzu Shiro, keep it up.
Suzushiro.
Emperor Zero.
Emperor Zero.
I'm gonna choke you out.
The best Kingdom Hearts 2 summon Stuart Little.
Yeah!
The best Kingdom 2 Hearts 2 summon. A rat.
Cooking a cheeseless KZ-style pizza with pregnant Zavik. What in the hell, Draco?
Whoa.
What? What?
I'm not dignifying that one by saying.
Combo breaker.
Armchair Devs Kiwami, episode 100, licensed anime games featuring Dr. Aggro. It's a picture of Avatar.
Ugh.
I
It doesn't work.
absolutely love that because that'll just make people mad.
Lady Popscorn.
An atmospheric horror adventure game by Ubisoft.
Maddie Mo.
Matty Mo.
Remember when KZ tried getting over that boat ramp? Man, that was comedy gold.
What an idiot.
Shut the fuck up, Bob.
Gary Busey's asymmetrical teeth.
Look at those teeth.
That's really horrifying.
Yes, it is. Jesus Christ. The Shades Retrieval Arc, episode 1. Google, can I buy some bitchin' shades?
Oh no!
Did Karnov lose his badass shades?
I don't know. We haven't
No,
got the
don't you
card
remember
on
the
yet.
shades that melted in their car?
Yes.
Oh,
no.
yes.
Yes, that was tragic. WTF Spider-Man. Mr. I like spam.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I got nothing. Pretty stoked for Deadly Premonition 2, though.
That seems so exciting. That game's getting a range from 9s out of 10s to 1s. It's gotta be amazing.
I saw so many 5s. The 64th Karnov, Funky Karnov, is hidden somewhere in Dan's house. Watch out for him. Joke's on you. No one lives in Dan's house.
It's just a tree in the park.
Yes. This is a park bench. Help! I've been kidnapped by the Limited Run Games time bubble. They won't let me go unless I buy a $300 Switch release of Karnov.
Ooh.
Oh shit!
The Keeley Everywhere system is still active for another 2 months.
Oh,
Tactical strikes.
DFW 3K has a gun.
They're so fast.
it's been like 4 hours.
Actually, it's been 7, but yeah.
It's been like 3 hours.
Muckbun. The Patreon Arcana social link has not raked up this week, but you feel like your bond will grow stronger next time.
Bullshit. You should have met with us with the same persona so it would have gone faster.
I hope if we have to advance the plot, it tells us, unlike some games.
A shiny Mew appears, oh woo.
I'm Dopo.
DK, aka Donkey Kunai. K, I wish my initials were a drink. C. And there's an image. But once again, this Patreon is not set up so I can see that image, so you're doomed. Anne Red Tonberry is in the Gigabase. Watch out, boys. It could be in this very room.
Oh, fuck.
God,
He's
that's
gonna
horrifying.
snap Bob's OLED.
There are so many layers to this.
It's really good. I love it. I forgot to change my
I want
name.
to own a Dan mask.
Ooh woo. Toads Tunes. What? Mark Cerny beats Phil Spencer with a bat ASMR. That's not ASMR.
Sending you to the dream.
I, Adam, had a good Podlord name last week, but Patreon hid my account from the world last week. Oh, that's terrible. I'm sorry, Adam. I'm sorry. Maybe Patreon will be better this time. Skyfire Hero is a proud new owner out of a denim jacket now. Oh, good for you. Good for you. Move it up the world.
A dacket.
Yes, a jacket. Kyle Bjork. Some incoherent bullshit, I guess. And lastly, a better post-apocalyptic PlayStation game about the psycho revenge Afro Samurai. Thank you very much to our Podlords.
Thank you, Podlords. Did you see that the Afro Samurai artist did like Ghost of Tsushima art?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
Thanks, Podlords, though.
Thank you, Podlord.
Thank you, Podlord. And if you'd like to become a Podlord, you can go to our Patreon at patreon.com/gbpodcast. For as little as $5 a month, you get many benefits, such as Cursed Content Club commentary tracks where we watch bad movies, Cursed Content by Committee, our Patreon exclusive show where we watch bad movies and you get to vote on which one we watch, also comes with a commentary track, early access to Chugging Bleach and Mondo Cool, our 2 anime review podcasts, extended armchair dev pitches, and other benefits. That's patreon.com/gbpodcast.
Smart delivery.
Oh God,
you
what?
want me to talk about that first?
We should.
Yes.
Okay, let me see if we were thinking about the same thing with smart delivery. I saw an article on gamesindustry.biz that said that Microsoft is forbidding studios to charge for upgrades.
Forbidding?
Yeah.
I was
That's what the title said, and they're specifically pushing for that to not happen. And what they want to happen is to use smart delivery or do something that EA or 2K are doing, like 2K is doing the bundle thing, where it's cross-gen bundles.
That's not.
But
That's the same as buying the.
Stupid.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
not
Buying
effectively. Yeah, that's not effectively smart delivery in the least.
So they're saying they're forcing it, but they're actually doing nothing.
The news article I read said Microsoft is really pushing studios to adopt smart delivery, which no shit, your smart delivery list is currently 12 strong. Most of those are your own titles.
So
yeah,
it's like
this seems like such a mess, because they're like, some studios, if games don't use smart delivery, you can't share save data on cross-gen.
Oh my god.
Which means if you buy NBA 2K Mamba Forever Edition on Xbox One X, and then you like go to the next one, you're starting from scratch.
That means you have to do all the rolls again.
Yes,
Give them another $50 million.
You have to turn on the slot machine yet again and start from one.
That's disgusting.
But yeah, they're like, you can't charge for the patch. However, you could sell them a bundle or do the offer EA's doing with Madden. That's what we want you to do.
This is like how you in most states you can go to the store and it'll say mask required, but they can't actually force you to do it.
That's depressing.
I'm saying the messaging is already turning to shit, and it's really, really fast.
A lot of people don't understand why I've been critical of smart delivery since the beginning. Like, and I say critical of how they're handling it. Because I know damn well that they're not going to force everyone to adopt it, so it really doesn't help that much when all of the games that are on the smart delivery list are doing the same thing on PlayStation. The ones that aren't are Microsoft exclusives or exclusive to the Xbox. So smart delivery is a neat marketing term that's confusing as hell, and no one could guess what it meant, and we already had a word for this, but that's beside the point. The part where it completely falls apart is when that's a part of the identity of the Xbox Series X and they're not forcing everyone else to adopt it. That's where it's falling apart. This whole thing's a shit show.
Yeah, I think it's crazy that they let something like NBA happen. Like the EA thing, it's already really bad, but good lord.
Smart delivery, but don't travel into the swamp. It's poisonous. Yeah, no, the NBA thing's nuts. $100 fucking dollars. Jesus.
Just give people a free upgrade, you fucking ghouls.
Don't call them ghouls.
They're ghouls.
But yeah, the thing is, they can't force them to do it. I mean, they could, but they won't.
Yeah, everyone who runs any part of the company at 2K, I assume looks like one of the Gremlins from Gremlins 2. They wear the way they wear the suit.
Jesus.
Never seen any of the Gremlin films, but I assume they look weird.
I've seen that picture. I have also not seen any of the Gremlin films. I plan on rectifying that.
I guess we're rectifying that.
Let's jump to your first bullet here, KZ. We got a good thread through 3 stories here.
Yeah. So Xbox Game Showcase is coming July 23rd at 9 a.m. Pacific. They're heavily tying in with Summer Games Fest with Jeff Keighley, because they said in their thing there will be an hour pre-show, an hour before, leading up into this.
They want me to wake up at 10 a.m.
Yeah. Yes, they do.
No, actually, we
not
have to be
Nintendo.
live at 10 a.m. I have to wake up at 9?
Yes.
You have to actually wake up at 8 because before that you have to rewatch the Sony conference to be able to compare it.
Oh no!
We gotta do it.
Son of a bitch.
God, that's. Oh,
Okay, maybe.
Bob's just like, no.
I'm fine with it. I don't know if Dan's gonna make it.
I'm usually awake until 9 a.m. nowadays.
Right, and that's the bad part.
That's its own problem.
It's the 23rd. That's on a Thursday. It's okay. You just gotta get ready. You gotta
Yeah.
get up really early on podcast day.
Yeah, it's fine. It's not like we record till midnight or 1 a.m. consistently every Thursday.
Whatever. That's your fault.
How's that my fault?
Whoa!
Things take time. This is probably Dan's.
They're gonna show video games here.
Yes.
Video games will be shown.
We'll see Halo.
There's seemingly a focus on first party like Halo, possibly Perfect Dark, who knows?
What if we only see Halo?
Oh, fuck off.
That's the thing I've been scared about the whole time since Tim Warren
Here we
or
go.
Tom Warren said that thing where he's like, don't expect them to show everything. Let's show Halo though.
They're doing
much
the
show.
same strategy as PlayStation, so that they can fire back later.
So they're going to show 45 games.
Don't put it like that.
True. That PlayStation Studios logo popped up, I think, 11 times.
Yeah, here's the thing. If they're showing as weak now and they just show a little bit so that way they, quote, keep up with Sony, they're just going to be consistently trailing them at all points. Speaking of consistently trailing Sony, Daniel Ahmad made a very good tweet comparing the hype between 2 different announcements. One of them was the likes and retweets on this Microsoft event being announced, which I would like to say, thank God that thing's announced. I've been wanting them to fucking pull the trigger on that shit.
It's way too late in the month, honestly. I wanted it
yes.
to be this week. I wanted to get this out of the way so we know, hey, there's hope.
So that way you have 2 conferences to compare that are remotely comparable?
Yeah.
Yes, I
They're
agree.
desperate. They're still desperately trying to outweight Sony. So we can't say our price before Sony does.
It's losing strategy and it keeps losing. I really wish everyone would just come out with all their guns and fire. But no, we got a simultaneous, a little bit later announcement. A few days later, Sony announced what PS5 game cases will look like by showing just the box for Spider-Man Miles Morales with the new iconic black and white trim at the top. It looks really sharp.
What's wrong, Phil?
It's a really good box.
It's a
Yeah, I'm excited for it. I would have liked the trim to be black instead of blue, personally. It looks a bit more aesthetically pleasing.
So here's why.
looks all
Here's
right.
why. I had to think about it for 1 second to figure out why they didn't do that. Because it needs to be black and white with a blue trim, just like the console. Because the blue trim on the case is the blue light in the console.
Yeah, I thought the same thing. I just went all aesthetically pleasing to my eye right now.
Yeah.
Then I saw people post boxes that looked like that, and I went, oh.
Yeah, I mean, I think it'll stand out all right, you know. I'm glad they didn't have a blue label again. That would have blurred the lines way too much.
Yeah.
Because
They don't want the consoles to seem the same or anything.
Right, exactly.
What a concept.
That might cause some issues. Like they bring this out, it's like the PlayStation Series 4.
I'm surprised this box. I don't understand it. There's not a gigantic label on it anywhere. It says plays on PlayStation 5.
Bob, the phrase is optimized. And what you're talking about is a box full of different console names. It's not just one.
It's just a giant diamond that says Big Chungus on PlayStation.
Fat cock.
Why is Cyberpunk that just has that plastic on the front?
You know what? They might sell more Xbox Series X's if the boxes just say...
It says that, but it just shows Keanu Reeves' face.
But he's been face-apped to smile like Yuffie face-apped.
No.
Now, if anyone wants to send us a mock-up box...
Anyway... So that announcement's pretty hype. I like the sleek new look at the top. It looks very clean. And it matches the PlayStation Studios icon, which is black and white as well. Very sharp looking case. I was like, okay, that's a neat announcement. Daniel Ahmad, though, he posted 2 different tweets, one from PlayStation, one from Xbox, and the level of interest between them. The Xbox announcement for when they're going to show off all of their games up to like an hour or two after that PS5 game box was announced had 18K retweets and 51K favorites. Okay. Within it was 2 hours. 2 hours after they made this tweet, which the number has changed by now, of course, they had 18K retweets on the PS5 box and 67,000 favorites. I just checked back in so we could get updated numbers. It's now 25K retweets and 100,000 likes. As we keep saying on Big Think, Microsoft can be like, here's the event where we're going to show off and explain all this cool stuff. We're going to show you guys some great games. Sony could come out and be like, here's what the create button does, and get like twice as much hype.
You hammered that home multiple times, and I'm like, yeah, but I don't know. And then this happened. It was a box, and it did it. So I linked it in our Discord. Immediately, Field goes in. Stop!
It's fucking...
It's so true.
The power gap is massive, is the problem here.
And someone's like, it's not fair. PlayStation's more popular.
I did see that take. I think Xbox would get more hype behind their stuffs if they hadn't done the May show. The May show disappointed a lot of people.
Yeah.
Nobody deleted the tweet. I missed that entirely.
He deleted... What a coward.
Oh, people were calling me a Sony pony.
Yeah, he was like, it's okay, this tweet's going to drive out the Xbox fans this month, and in a week I'll tweet something that drives out the PlayStation fans. This is literally what he said. I guess he went, oh, never mind. I don't want to come off like I'm a bias.
That's so dumb.
But yeah, no, if Microsoft's conferences weren't consistently so bad, like May was bad. Remember the one before May?
No.
Exactly.
I remember it was really bad. I don't remember anything that was shown off other than Grounded.
Yeah, I was going to say Grounded was the highlight that tells you everything you need to know.
I didn't notice that Miles has like knee-high boots. That's a little weird. Okay.
One moment. Let me look at this. Yeah, I guess, yeah. It looks like it's made from the same material as his gloves.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. That's how he's going to, he's going to electricity kick people.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what his default costume is, because I'm going to unlock the Spider-Verse one and just never use anything else.
Fair.
Yeah, this thing's probably have a ton of outfits. That'll be great.
Oh, man. But yeah, no, that's a really sharp looking box. I like it. It's all right. Microsoft needs to have some actually good conferences so that way this power gap isn't as big.
I was imagining, okay, we changed the box again. The CD is now outside.
What? God damn it. I don't... You know what? I'm not sure if we talked about it on content. Didn't you say the Xbox game discs being in the front of the case made them fall off of shelves more easily?
I don't think so. I know that I find it a pain just because it's like, this is different than everything else in the store. It makes it hard to deal with.
Wait, they're on the fucking front side? Why?
Because
to be different.
Yeah.
That's fucking stupid. That means you're moving the heavier part.
Yes.
But it's different.
Fuck this company.
Hey, it could have been worse. They could have put clasps on every game. You know, those DVD cases that have the clasps?
There's still time, Dan.
We can go back.
Oh my god, on the fucking clasp it says to unlock the power of X. And you have to...
There's one on each corner.
Mm-hmm.
No, there's just an X on each clasp. You gotta unlock the X.
That would be hilarious.
Oh, God.
I'm
man.
getting excited.
I would fucking lose it. I would cackle. I would cackle with glee because that's hilariously bad. Anyway, we're gonna move on to real news. Halo 3 Master Chief Collection is launching on the 14th.
Nice.
Yes, no, that's next
Please
week.
ship my PC parts.
Oh god, I forgot. I'm sorry, Phil. But yeah, Halo 3, I love that game. Really glad, it's coming to the PC where we can more easily get a group of people together.
Yeah.
And
it'll run well.
For people who missed it, the Master Chief Collection in general is going to get the ODST version of Fire Team at some point down the road. They didn't say when, so that's very exciting because the Fire Team mode in
The
Reach is not
success
great.
story continues.
Yeah, it's getting better. It took forever, but it's getting better now, and good on them because Halo's their most valuable IP, no matter how much they abused it. But yeah, we're undoubtedly going to do some multiplayer stuff for that. We'll probably set up roles in the Discord for people to get notified for when we go live. Anyway, we have news that I tried to append to the end of KZ segment earlier, but I forgot to. Bloodstained Curse of the Moon 2 is getting a version 1.2.0 update on July 16th, which is going to add a boss rush mode and do some bug fixes. So that's pretty cool.
Those bosses are really cool.
I really like boss rush modes. I played a lot of the Harmony of Dissonance boss rush mode. I may have played more boss rush in that than the actual game. Because Harmony of Dissonance combat is really, really fun and snappy. Harmony of Dissonance castle layout is the worst it's ever been.
Oh,
Yeah.
but you don't like endless rooms shaped like Z's or reverse Z's filled with enemies?
No, I don't like that Dracula summoned Satan so that way they could build his castle out of Tetris pieces.
They betrayed you.
Yes.
They built it twice wrong and overlaid the maps on each other.
Yeah. Oh, God. Harmony of Dissonance. We're going to have to do a playthrough of that. We've never done one on the channel.
Still better than the map of Mega Man ZX, but yeah.
I've never played ZX, but I don't doubt it.
You need to give ZX Advent a chance.
KZ, we had some real news. Let's go to the fakest, weirdest news on the entire article with your last bullet.
Do you want me to do it? Because I'm an expert on him.
All right, I'll read it and then you'll tell me more about it.
Okay.
I saw a tweet and my ass got blown out that apparently someone to own Yandere Dev made a second Yandere simulator called Lovesick, and they made it look and run better than that person did in 6 years in 2 weeks.
Here's the thing. They just used Unity, and Yandere Dev is an incompetent who tried to make everything himself.
He's not even using an engine? I thought that he was just using Unity or something, but couldn't figure out how to code in it.
I don't think so. I think he's just... Buh.
He's an auteur.
I guess.
There were just I saw a post where it was like, no one else can make, this was a while back, like no one else can make, there's so much code, there's so many aspects of this, it would be impossible to replicate this, and someone made a better version in 2 weeks.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not surprising at all.
Oh, apparently it is on Unity. He's just cripplingly incompetent.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Like, nobody can do this. Except anybody, apparently.
It may be somebody who knows more than if else statements.
Don't talk about the actual code. Talk about something more important that he spends more time on, like emails.
Or drinking from his cum chalice.
Okay,
No!
moving on. Hey, Bob.
Hey,
I wasn't going to put it because I didn't think it was that important. What do you got in Mega Man news this week?
they announced Mega Man VR Targeted Virtual World, which is a game that's in Ikebukuro in a virtual arcade. So that's neat. They did a trailer for it. Uses Mega Man 11 graphics.
Yeah, which is good. I like Mega Man 11. It has a really snappy, good art style. Anyone who criticizes it is wrong, objectively.
Got him.
Got him. Got him.
I want to believe this sort of thing can come to something like at home eventually. Like
A lot of those things don't.
I know.
Yeah, no, Japan's really into the VR attraction thing nowadays, which, why are you launching one right now?
Yeah.
But, yeah, no, they're really into that. I
Fine.
haven't seen a lot of them come home, though. That's a shame.
Everybody there wears masks, so their infection rate was unbelievably low, and they didn't have to shut shit down.
They did have some restrictions, a lot of them, actually, but, you know, it's still working out great over there. Probably not a great time to fuck it up. Hey, Bob.
Hey.
I see you wrote down one of the funniest things from the Limited Run Games conference.
Yes, it's the highlight of that whole conference.
Okay.
Wayforce says more River City Girls is on the way. Does not elaborate.
The only way that could have been better was just like fucking reconnect River City Girl.
Let's do the other way forward thing.
Sure.
Way forward, the day after we record this, so you'll know by now. They're announcing something at a Nintendo event that is a license they've never used before.
But it's
IP
third party.
they've never gotten to touch before. It's not a first-party Nintendo IP. Everybody thought it was because of the way the tweet was worded. They had to clarify it's a third-party IP. Let's guess what it is.
It's Karnov.
I have my
Okay,
knife.
that's What's your knife, Bob?
It's Battletoads exclusive for the Switch.
That'd be the funniest thing in the world if they were like, no, we back down. No, the funniest thing would be is if the way forward Battletoads is only on Switch and then the bad one is only on Xbox.
Oh. I had a few others like Castlevania, other stuff like that. They have not worked with that yet.
Yeah, Castlevania would make too much sense. I'm not that much of an optimist, so I won't say Castlevania. Some Marvel property. There
I'm
you go.
assuming because it's at this Nintendo thing, instead of them just dropping a trailer, that it must be something people will sort of identify with Nintendo. So I'm with like Castlevania or a Mega Man thing.
Yeah, Castlevania's definitely got a strong affiliation with Nintendo portables. You know, there are 7 portable Castlevania games that most of them have not escaped. None of them have escaped except for Mirror of Fate. But yeah, there's 6 others on DS and Game Boy Advance that are just stuck there, and they will never port them, and we don't know why. So Castlevania would make a lot of sense in that sense. And Konami has worked with WayForward before.
Your suggestion on Twitter might be my favorite one ever.
Okay, then I'll explain that and the lore real quick. Bunny Must Die.
Oh no, not that one.
No, not that one.
Damn it.
I was talking about your suggestion of Contra 5. It's Contra 4 but turned on its side.
Yeah, that one's pretty good. But Bunny Must Die, let me explain real quick. Rock and Android, which is the people who brought Bunny Must Die to the States but didn't make it, announced 5 years ago that WayForward was making a Bunny Must Die game and canceled it 3 years later to say, oh, that project's been canceled, never mind. This is me going, maybe Rock and Android just got out and eventually that got greenlit as a project again later. But who knows?
Possible.
Castlevania would be neat. Castlevania would be great.
Yeah.
Fantastic, even.
Somebody pointed out that the 30th anniversary of Kid Dracula.
Okay, I love Kid Dracula, but if you fucking bring back Castlevania and it's Kid Dracula,
Yeah, then you really screwed up.
I'm gonna get really fucking pissed because simultaneously they're shutting down Grimoire of Souls. For those who don't know, that's a mobile phone game that never actually came to the United States of America. It came to Japan and Canada, and maybe like one other place. So
Canada.
So no shit. We're using an old iPhone of Bob's to set it up so we could fucking play that game because it's shutting down in 2 months.
Yeah, that game looked really cool.
Yeah, it did. It looks really great. It has original art by Yame Kojima. It's the highest budgeted thing they've done in Castlevania in a while. Like, it has really nice 3D art. There's a lot of dialogue in it. It's so upsetting that shit never came out in America.
Hopefully they just all of that's basically just going to be the groundwork for an actual video game on a console. Maybe. I won't if I want to be optimistic, that could be the case.
I mean, that would be nice. I was hoping they would bring it to home console.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it's got a lot of really neat mechanics, but whatever. Anyway, we're going to play that on the channel eventually. We got one last bit of way forward news here. I'm going to steal it. Shantae, the original game for the Game Boy Color, is getting a limited run games release on Game Boy Color, as in the original cartridge, but it's also going to have a physical Switch release and a digital Switch release. Apparently, the YouTube channel I follow, Modern Vintage Gamer, that guy has coded emulators homebrew for the Xbox and Xbox 360 over the years. He was hired by them to make that emulator, basically, that they're going to use to power it on the Switch.
You'd think that Nintendo would have that on lockdown already, but I guess they don't.
Just like you think Sony would have some sort of emulator for the PS1 that they would let people use to re-release PS1 games easily, like they did on the PSP, but for whatever reason nowadays, nobody gives a shit. I don't know.
Yeah.
I have no idea. Also, 1 billion people added me this week to tell me, hey, Donkey Kong Country is on Nintendo Switch Online. So there you go, everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, the one that's almost a good game.
Yeah, the one that's got really good music.
I think that game's good.
It
It's
is
just not my favorite.
The second best country game.
It's really good, but it's not great like 2 is.
Only if you're not smart, Bob.
Smart people love hanging out with a big dumb baby.
Yup.
And playing Simon all the time.
It's about growing up.
Let's whip through some unimportant ones. Ys Origin is coming to Switch next year. Okay, it's on it's on everything.
It's a
Mafia
$70.
Definitive.
It's a $70 physical edition.
Will also be digital.
Order. Fuck you.
Mafia Definitive got delayed till September 25th. I think it was at the start of the month originally, so it got delayed like 3 weeks.
All right.
The sequel to Super Hot comes out next week on the 16th. It's like a standalone expansion. It's called Super Hot Mind Control Delete.
Huh.
Neat.
Didn't see that coming. Okay.
Maybe those two things will form an actual adequately length game.
Oh.
You got them.
Shadow Warrior 3 was announced. It had some general bullet points. They didn't say anything about loot or leveling up, so I'm excited.
Boo.
I see that he has a grappling hook now.
I think he might have had that in 2.
The trailer was like all about, hey, you need to show off the grappling hook. So I hope it's not in 2.
Kingdoms of Amalur Re-Reckoning is coming out September 8th. Also in a move that I didn't see coming in any reality, they're making an expansion for it called Fate Sworn.
That's insane.
What? Okay, these names are getting a bit much. This is like...
Fate Sworn's good. I love that.
Yeah, no, the remaster... or
No, it's Re-Reckoning.
Re-Reckoning. That's like re-death.
Yeah.
That's awful.
Also, it's not Re-Death. It's Evangelion Re-Death. I think it's just one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Isn't there that parody of it, though, that is...
No, that is the parody.
Oh, that's the parody already. Okay.
Yeah. Jesus Christ. No one Google any of those things.
Sony spent $250 million to become a minority interest in Epic.
I was trying to figure out how this made sense, but then I thought about, Fortnite's probably near its peak, but they are getting a lot more use out of the film and TV industry. So the engine still has a lot of ways it can grow. Like, even more people can come over to Unreal Engine this gen than last gen.
This is just it. This is proof that Tim Sweeney's a hack. He's shilling for Sony. So
yeah,
it was all a ruse.
for the equivalent of pocket change for him. Also,
it's okay. One time he said the Cell was easy to make games for.
I don't think he said that.
I saw people say he said that this week, and I was like, really?
That means nothing.
I don't think he said that.
Huh.
I looked up a lot of quotes to analyze the history there. I don't think he ever once pretended that was an easy thing to go for.
Seems like he actually probably said the opposite, considering I just Googling Sweeney PS3 Cell gets Tim Sweeney talk Cell difficulties.
Yeah, no, that thing's a nightmare, and I don't see why Tim Sweeney would be like,
people are trying to cope really hard.
Oh, yeah, no, they're just bullshitting you.
It's gonna... I still think that we might get the timeline where it's like, Epic went to Sony and Microsoft and said, do you want to work with us so our shit works really well on your platform? Sony said yes. Microsoft didn't give a response.
I mean, Sony talked about doing a lot of collaboration with them, Epic talked about doing a lot of collaboration with the design of the console with Sony. Sony talked about how they did that with a lot of devs and a lot of publishers and engine makers at different studios. Microsoft hasn't implied that, even slightly.
No, they have the biggest box. That's what they keep saying. It's amazing. It's amazing how big it is.
Smart delivery on, except for other publishers.
It's big. I've never seen a big box before. It's big.
Oh God, I just realized what we saved for last.
I can't believe you didn't hit this up in the Microsoft segments.
Yeah,
Microsoft basically released a threat saying they're going to continue acquiring studios.
I have some.
Yes, they did.
I have some choice quotes from this article.
Sure.
This interview I thought I would share with you guys. I even screen capped them. With Psychonauts 2, says Tim Schafer, we could see the end of our budget coming up, and so we had to cut a lot of stuff, Schafer explains. We had cut our boss fights. Now we're able to put those back in, and we're like, we think people would have noticed if we didn't have those boss fights. Being able to complete the game in the way that it was meant to be was very important. This is...
I would imagine, imagine Square Enix, they probably would have noticed we just threw notes on the floor and that was your plot.
Microsoft really fucking bought a studio run by a moron. Run by just an idiot. Incapable of delivering anything.
What gets me is it sounds like all of the boss fights were cut.
He made
Yes!
it's plural, so it sounds like multiple, so that's rough. I have another quote. With Game Pass, it wouldn't make sense to acquire Double Fine and then assign us a bunch of Forza DLC. That's not what you would want from a studio like Double Fine. And Game Pass seems like a great opportunity to have a diversity of games, a plethora of unusual content. I could see how the type of games that Double Fine makes could fit into that. This was during the segment.
They listened to our podcast.
No, Casey. He said that the first time he walked on stage at a Microsoft thing. He's like, "You're not gonna make me make Forza cars, are you?" They're like, no, Tim. No, good, because I don't want to. And then Dan literally leaned to the mic and said, "Give it 3 years."
Damn it.
You will.
But yeah, this article is just talking about the importance of Game Pass and them integrating things into the studio. It's worth noting that the person who's in charge of integrating Mojang after they bought them is the person in charge of integrating all these studios. That is, of course, Matt Booty.
The booty!
He talks about how, when they first integrated Mojang into the studio, they didn't want to come in and be like, oh, this whole game's in Java. You got to bring it over to C. You got to stop using Amazon, what is it? Amazon Web Services. You got to start using Azure. Instead, we just worked with them to see, what they could do and stuff like that. Help them get integrated a little bit better. It's, he talks about integrating all of these studios in a similar way. Sounds like some of the studios they have access to or just bought are really early on in game development, like ideation. And they're like, so what we do is we stay the fuck out of them coming up with new ideas for games. And when they finish coming up with that idea and it gets a lot of hype, then they float it up to us. And then we give, oh man, I need to get the exact quote because it's really funny to me given what happened with certain things. There we go. There we go. No, it's fine. It's fine. It's real. It's okay, Phil. It's gonna be.
It's great. It's great. It's so great.
It's so great.
Okay.
You're gonna love this quote. You're not gonna memorize it and hate it. I'm gonna read the whole thing. It's kind of a phase thing. Take Compulsion. They're working on their next game and have spent the last year on early ideation. I try to keep us as far away from that as possible. And then, as it starts to get exposure within the organization, feedback will come in and things will start to steer. But it's important to leave them alone for as long as possible until they've got something that can walk on its own. And then there's no shortage of feedback within Xbox.
Oh,
They're doomed. They're doomed. It's over.
It's over. We're going to use that every day for the rest of our lives.
When I read that last sentence, all I could think of, oh God, poor Platinum.
Yeah.
You should make a multiplayer and online.
There's no shortage of feedback.
How do we get in multiplayer? How do we get in card packs? I need card packs.
Oh God, yeah, they probably. Oh God,
I never want to hear anybody fucking imply that Platinum was at fault with Scalebound ever again.
It's a failure between both of them.
That's why Microsoft says that and Platinum says nothing because of contracts.
Yeah.
Yeah, that seems like a that seems ambiguous. It could be anything. It's definitely not one-sided or anything. This isn't asymmetrical multiplayer here, where one player has all the power. But yeah, no, I read that line and had a stroke thinking about Scalebound. But they talk about a lot of studios. And what
Whenever any game just ends up trapped in hell or ends up wildly different, well, there's no shortage of feedback.
There's no shortage of feedback here at Xbox.
We will give you hope and then ruin your game.
I want to have some belief that these studios will be able to make anything, but I worry more and more every day about all those guys they buy up because they bought so many.
Yeah,
and apparently they're not done.
Yeah, the way they made it sound is that they're totally cool with acquiring some more studios, and they repeat something they've said somewhere else numerous times. In this article, they say that the CFO and the CEO of Microsoft have their back. They have full backing financially, and they go further in this article to state that, they're going to use those resources to better support their studios. They phrase it as I'm going to be hyperbolic, but you have limited resources versus infinite resources. And how do different groups deal with that? To be honest, a lot of what I've had to do at Microsoft is back off saying we can only spend 17 cents on that. Not that we should spend 17,000 cents on that, but I need to think longer term. And sometimes being an independent studio involves thinking shorter term. It's they just want to stress that they bought a lot of studios. They got a lot of money to keep pushing out games, and they use the next line to talk about their dream team. Are you guys ready to hear the people he specifically mentions?
Oh, no. Go ahead. It's going to be painful.
The Avengers moment.
Also, I think it's interesting, not to toot our horns, but you've got Brian Fargo and me and Tim Schafer and Nita Christensen from Ninja Theory and all these people with lots of experience making games, and we have an effect on the organization.
It's over.
That list was...
Yeah, I was like,
Tim Schafer should not be in an A list of people who ship games.
Yeah, I was like, he's the only name I know.
We may live in a future where he can change that statement and he can be like, we also got Ed Boon.
Tim Schafer has he's most notable for shipping bad games late that cost too much money.
Yeah,
he's done that throughout his career a lot.
That's literally, he's got 2 generations of that over and over under his belt. Yeah.
He couldn't even keep himself under control when he crowdfunded something so everybody wouldn't hate him.
It's okay, they cut a bunch of bosses and it was going to be fine.
I'm talking about Broken Age.
Oh, fuck.
The game they shipped 25% of initially to fund the second half?
Yeah, so anyway, I thought that line was really funny because of that.
All right.
I don't view Hellblade as a staggering success. I don't view Tim Schafer's work as a staggering success, and I'll be frank, I don't know who Brian Fargo is. I'm gonna look it up. Oh, he's from In Exile nowadays.
Yeah,
okay, that's one of the studios they bought.
He worked on a Bard's Tale.
Yeah, he used to be at Interplay. You remember Interplay?
Oh, good. He was the executive producer on Hunted the Demon's Forge, a game that we keep bringing up somehow.
Also, Clay Fighter.
Classic. Well, the Hunted the Demon Forge is a classic. I don't know about Clay Fighter.
This dream team is insane because Microsoft is only buying companies that are kind of floundering.
Yeah.
Yeah, they bought a bunch of C and D grade studios. I don't think they know that, which is the scary part.
That's the weird part.
It feels like they do, and they're just trying to bulk them up. They're like, now that we own them, they're S tier.
Are you telling me Microsoft's making their own sort of Suicide Squad?
Yes, but there is no Will Smith to be seen.
That's true.
See, here's the new thing. Instead of saying
Harley
Ninja,
Quinn.
Instead of saying Ninja Theory is their Naughty Dog, we need to be saying Ninja Theory is their Will Smith.
They have, at best, a Jared Leto.
I would say Schaefer is the Jared Leto of this group. Does anyone disagree?
Okay. Somebody please send one of us Tim Schafer with green hair and white face with damaged on his forehead.
No! I will fucking die when that shows up.
That might just be a real picture that exists.
Oh, that's true. It might be out there. I haven't looked. Anyway, that was the news this week. That article's insightful, and I honestly and earnestly recommend people just read it for the sake of reading it, because it's always good to hear from Microsoft how they feel about buying studios and what they think the values are. It just sounds like they're going to keep throwing money at the problem in a way that doesn't. It would be easier if they had someone in here that was like a juggernaut of business, right? If they had someone that was like, oh, here's my track record, it's fucking impeccable, right? That would make everything so much easier. But it's really hard to hear. We have an A-list team. It includes Tim Schafer.
Yeah, this is rough.
His statement is, until they bought me, I had to remove all the content. It was gonna turn into Xenogears.
I can't ship a game unless I have infinite money.
Luckily, he's at the right place now. But yeah, no, that thing's interesting at least. But that's all the news for this week. We got through it. Good job, everyone.
Woo!
Bob and I are going to be streaming stuff, and I'm going to be doing my taxes. That's it. That's my next week. Very exciting, I know. Look forward to the week after that for exciting shit. Hey, KZ, what do you have going on in the next week?
I don't know. Videos will come out. I'm gonna do another stream probably this weekend of that randomizer, as I have learned the things to not have on. Just it's important. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Small anecdote.
Yeah.
I asked the people what I should randomize on a Keyblade, because all the Keyblades have an ability attached to them, and usually it's a support ability. But the randomizer will let you also tag action abilities to it. And I asked them, what do you want? And of course they want the one that has all the stuff in it. I picked up a Keyblade. What's on it? Guard. So if I want to use Guard, I got to put that Keyblade on.
Oh.
That being said, it did lead to a wacky thing later where I picked up the explosion finishing command, where the end of the combo does a big spin where 3 balls are in front of you, and it does an insane amount of damage. I then put on negative combo, so my combo is one hit. It's just that finisher. And it somehow became the ultimate Dan Video Games-esque, I'm ripping through enemies with finishing combos over and over again. The AI is breaking. It does not understand what's happening.
It's like, well, I have a revenge value. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, I could see it. I could see the gears turning in real time. But yeah, I know some things I have to change, like looking up where certain items are so I can map out the route a bit better. But I'll be doing that, and I think that's it. Yeah, that's it.
Cool. Hey, Phil, what do you have going on in the next week?
I'll probably stream at some point. Some shit has happened that has left me anxious and rendered me unable to stream. But hopefully that'll all get sorted out in the next couple.
I'm pregnant.
God damn it. KZ, you said you were taking the pill.
I'm sorry.
I feel so betrayed.
It was Flintstone vitamins.
God damn it, those are tasty. Is that where all my Flintstone vitamins went, KZ?
Yes. All 4 bottles.
Thank you for listening to this episode of The Big Think Dimension. If you would like to support the GB Podcast Network, head on over to patreon.com/GB Podcast, so that way you can get exclusive behind the scenes on stuff, other content. There's a lot of content. It's basically non-ending avalanche of content. So head on over there, become a $5 backer or a Podlord today. This month's GigaBoots videos have erupted into reality thanks to the money magic of our executive producers. Esme, Nicholas Cameron, E. Lee Broyles, Spaceman Spiff, Star Falcon, Danny Richardson, Red Blaze 27, Zenki Kongetsu, and Adam Admar. Thank you very much to our executive producers.
And also these guys.
If you want to become powerful like our executive producers, you can head on over to patreon.com/gigaboots today.